In the biting chill of early dawn, the military training ground lay shrouded in a gray mist that clung stubbornly to the rugged landscape. The sun, still a pale orb behind a curtain of clouds, cast a muted glow over the scene, a remote outpost carved into the unforgiving terrain, where the scent of damp earth mingled with the sharp tang of gunpowder and sweat. Before we dive into this incredible story, make sure to like and subscribe and tell me, what brings you here today? Are you a pet owner, or perhaps you have a special bond with a service animal? Amidst the clatter and commands echoing across the field, a lone figure moved with deliberate precision. Sergeant Mark Harris was a man shaped by discipline and duty, his uniform crisp despite the grime of the battlefield exercises. His sharp eyes scanned the horizon as he guided the movements of his partner. Rex, a German shepherd whose sleek coat gleamed with health and whose muscles rippled beneath taut skin. Rex was no ordinary dog. Every step he took was measured, every breath held in synchronization with Mark's own steady rhythm. Together, they were a seamless unit, a testament to years of training and unspoken understanding. The bond between them ran deeper than commands or rewards. It was forged in trust, tempered by countless missions in hostile environments, and sealed by a shared commitment to protect and serve. The training ground was alive with activity. Soldiers moved through obstacle courses, their boots pounding the dirt as simulated explosions rippled through the air. Yet, in the midst of this orchestrated chaos, the connection between Mark and Rex remained a constant, a beacon of calm and control. Rex's keen eyes caught every subtle signal from his handler, a slight tilt of the head, a shift in posture, and responded instantly, weaving through the obstacles with agile grace. Mark paused near a cluster of jagged rocks, issuing a low command that only Rex could hear. The dog's ears perked, and with a fluid motion, he darted forward, nose to the ground, tracking an invisible scent line with unwavering focus. The handler's voice was a steady anchor, guiding Rex through the challenge as if they were extensions of the same being. Nearby, other soldiers watched with a mixture of admiration and quiet envy. The partnership between man and dog was legendary on the base, a symbol of resilience and reliability in a world where uncertainty was the only certainty. Rex, once a sheltered dog with a troubled past, had transformed into an elite K9 unit member, his intelligence and loyalty making him invaluable in missions where lives hung in the balance. As Rex completed his task, returning to Mark's side with a sense of purpose, the sergeant knelt and ran a hand along the dog's thick fur. There was a softness in that gesture, a brief moment where the hardened soldier revealed the depth of his affection. Rex responded with a gentle nuzzle, his amber eyes reflecting the bond that transcended words. The training drills continued, pushing both man and dog to their limits. Mark's commands were sharp but patient, a rhythm born of trust rather than fear. Rex responded with unwavering dedication, his every move a demonstration of the countless hours spent honing their skills together. The rugged outpost, with its harsh winds and unforgiving terrain, was more than a backdrop. It was a crucible where their partnership was tested and strengthened. Beyond the physical challenges, there was an unspoken understanding between them. Mark knew that Rex was not just a tool of war, but a companion who shared in the burdens of service. The dog's presence was a source of comfort amid the chaos, a silent reassurance that no matter the dangers ahead, they faced them together. As the morning wore on, the mist began to lift, revealing the stark beauty of the landscape. Jagged peaks framed the horizon, their snow-capped tips piercing the sky. The scent of pine and damp earth filled the air, mingling with the distant hum of helicopters preparing for deployment. It was a world of contrasts, harsh yet breathtaking, perilous yet filled with moments of quiet grace. Sergeant Harris stood tall, his gaze sweeping the training ground one last time before signaling the end of the exercise. Rex trotted beside him, alert and ready, his tongue lolling in a brief pant of satisfaction. The bond they shared was evident to all who observed. A partnership born of necessity, but nurtured by loyalty and love. In that remote outpost, amidst the harsh realities of military life, the story of Mark and Rex was unfolding. A tale of dedication, courage, and the unbreakable connection between a soldier and his canine partner. It was a connection that would carry them through the trials ahead, a testament to the strength found not just in weapons or tactics, but in the steadfast companionship that lies at the heart of every mission. As the sun finally broke through the clouds, casting warm light over the rugged terrain, Mark reached down to scratch behind Rex's ears. The dog looked up, eyes shining with trust and readiness. Together, they moved forward, united by a bond that no battlefield could sever, stepping into the uncertain future with unwavering resolve. The sun had climbed higher now, casting a warm glow over the rugged military outpost. Yet Sergeant Mark Harris's thoughts drifted away from the harsh terrain and relentless drills. His mind softened with the image of home, a modest house nestled in the suburbs where laughter and light filled the rooms. It was there that his heart truly belonged, in the company of his young daughter, Lily, whose bright eyes and boundless energy were his greatest source of strength. Mark often carried the weight of his duties with quiet resolve. But it was in those stolen moments of memory that his vulnerability surfaced. Lily, only 7 years old, was the center of his world. Her innocence a fragile contrast to the violence and chaos he faced daily. He had become more than a soldier. He was a father determined to protect his family, even from afar. Beside him, Rex shifted on his paws, sensing the change in Mark's mood. The German Shepherd was more than just a partner in combat. He was a guardian, a steadfast presence that extended beyond the battlefield. Rex's journey had been remarkable. Just a year before, he had been a frightened stray in a crowded shelter, his spirit battered by neglect and abandonment. But Mark had seen something in him, an unyielding spark hidden beneath the scars. The decision to bring Rex into the K9 unit was as much an act of faith as it was strategy. Training sessions transformed the once timid dog into an elite operative, his instincts honed and his loyalty absolute. Mark had nurtured this transformation with patience and kindness, building a bond that transcended commands and discipline. Now, Rex was not only his partner on the field, but also a protector of the family he held dear. As the morning's training wound down, Mark's thoughts returned home with renewed clarity. He pictured Lily waiting by the window, clutching her favorite stuffed animal, counting the hours until his return. The ache of separation was softened only by the knowledge that Rex, with his keen senses and unwavering devotion, watched over her in Mark's absence. The sergeant's phone buzzed quietly in his pocket, breaking the silence. He glanced at the screen and smiled, a message from his wife, Anna, updating him on Lily's day. The photo attached showed the little girl grinning beneath a cascade of golden curls, her cheeks flushed from a morning spent at the park. It was a reminder of what he fought for, the fragile peace that must be preserved amid the storm. Mark knelt down beside Rex, running a hand along the dog's thick fur. "She misses you," he murmured, voice low but filled with warmth. Rex responded with a soft whine, his eyes reflecting an understanding that went beyond words. The dog's protective instincts were not confined to the battlefield. They extended to the home front, where Lily's safety was paramount. That evening, back at the modest family home, the connection between Rex and Lily was unmistakable. The little girl's laughter filled the rooms as she tossed a worn tennis ball across the living room, and Rex bounded after it with youthful enthusiasm. Though the dog was trained to be disciplined and alert, with Lily he was gentle and patient, a loyal companion in her world of play and imagination. Mark watched from the doorway, his heart swelling with pride and a touch of sorrow. The demands of duty often kept him away, but in Rex, he had found a surrogate guardian for his daughter, a protector who would stand watch through the long nights and uncertain days. The bond between the two was already deepening, their trust blossoming in quiet moments of shared affection. Later, as Lily settled into bed, Rex, curled up at her feet, his body a warm shield against the shadows that crept along the walls. Mark's voice came softly over the phone as he spoke to his daughter from a distant base, telling her stories and promising to return soon. The dog's presence was a source of comfort, a living reminder that even in his absence, the family was not alone. Mark's training with Rex had always been rigorous, forged in the crucible of military protocol and necessity. But it was the softer moments, those glimpses of companionship and care, that revealed the true depth of their connection. Rex was more than a weapon or a tool. He was a loyal friend who understood the unspoken language of love and protection. The memories of Rex's early days at the shelter lingered in Mark's mind. How the dog had flinched at sudden movements, how fear had once clouded his eyes. The transformation had not been easy, requiring patience, trust-building, and unwavering commitment. Yet, through that process, Mark found a kindred spirit, a partner who had risen from adversity to become a symbol of resilience. As the night deepened, Mark prepared for the next day's deployment, his thoughts anchored by the image of home. He knew that the bond he shared with Rex was more than professional. It was personal, a lifeline that connected the demands of duty with the love that awaited him beyond the front lines. In the quiet moments before sleep, Mark reflected on the delicate balance he maintained. The soldier's resolve tempered by the father's tenderness, the warrior's strength softened by the protector's heart. Rex, lying faithfully at his side, embodied that balance, a living testament to loyalty, courage, and the power of second chances. The bond between Mark, Rex, and Lily was a triangle of trust and devotion, each supporting the other in ways both visible and unseen. It was a connection that would carry them through the trials ahead, a source of hope amid uncertainty. As Mark closed his eyes, he knew that no matter where the next mission took him, the spirit of family and friendship would remain his greatest armor. The sun had barely risen over the jagged horizon when the call came through, urgent, clipped, and impossible to ignore. Sergeant Mark Harris stood at attention, the weight of his gear pressing firmly against his frame as orders crackled over the radio. The mission was clear: deployment to a volatile combat zone where tension simmered beneath the surface, a place where every step could ignite chaos. Mark's heart tightened, not with fear, but with a heavy responsibility that settled over him like armor. Beside him, Rex mirrored his readiness, muscles coiled and eyes sharp, senses alert to every nuance of the environment. They were a unit forged in countless drills and hardened by shared experience. But the uncertain terrain ahead promised challenges unlike any before. The convoy moved swiftly through winding mountain roads, dust swirling in, their wake as the landscape shifted from sparse outcrop to dense shadowed valleys. The air buzzed with anticipation, the silence between soldiers heavy with unspoken fears. Mark's grip tightened on Rex's harness, feeling the dog's calm resolve beneath his hand. A silent promise that they faced whatever lay ahead together. As they neared the target zone, the atmosphere grew thick with tension. Local intelligence had reported insurgent activity, and every shadow seemed to harbor unseen threats. Mark's voice remained steady as he issued commands, guiding Rex through the labyrinth of narrow alleys and crumbling stone walls. The dog's nose twitched, picking up scents invisible to human senses, his ears swiveling toward the faintest sounds. Suddenly, the convoy was ambushed. Explosions shattered the morning air, sending shockwaves through the ground beneath their feet. Bullets tore into metal and earth alike as chaos erupted around them. Mark's training kicked in instantly. He ducked behind a battered vehicle, pulling Rex close. The dog's growl was low and menacing, a warning that danger lurked near. Smoke and dust clouded the battlefield, the acrid sting of gunfire filling Mark's lungs. He scanned frantically, searching for the source of the attack and the safety of his men. Then, a sharp cry pierced through the cacophony. A soldier down, caught in the crossfire. Without hesitation, Mark sprang forward, shielding the wounded man as Rex darted ahead, teeth bared and fur bristling. The dog's instincts took over, navigating through the chaos with precision and courage. Rex intercepted an assailant attempting to flank the squad, forcing the attacker to retreat under the weight of the dog's fierce defense. Mark reached the injured soldier, dragging him behind cover as bullets whizzed past. The dog returned, positioning himself protectively between Mark and the enemy, his stance unwavering. Despite their coordinated efforts, the ambush was relentless. In the frenzy, Mark felt a searing pain, a sudden, sharp impact in his side. He staggered, but refused to fall, gritting his teeth as blood seeped through his uniform. Rex sensed his handler's distress instantly, barking urgently as he nuzzled Mark's shoulder, urging him to move. The world around them blurred, sounds distorting as adrenaline surged through Mark's veins. He struggled to stay conscious, the weight of the mission and his men pressing down on him. Rex remained steadfast, his body shielding Mark as the firefight raged on. The bond between them transcended the chaos, a lifeline tethering Mark to the will to survive. When reinforcements finally arrived, the tide of battle shifted. The attackers retreated into the shadows from which they had emerged, leaving behind the echoes of violence and the heavy toll it exacted. Medics rushed to Mark's side, their faces grim as they assessed his wound. The pain was sharp, but his thoughts were already with Lily and Rex. Rex refused to leave Mark's side, his eyes filled with a mixture of concern and determination. The dog's loyalty was absolute, his protective instincts heightened by the sudden vulnerability of his handler. As Mark was stabilized and prepared for evacuation, he reached down to stroke Rex's head, his voice a hoarse whisper. "Stay close, buddy. I'll be back." Back at the base, the sterile white walls of the infirmary contrasted starkly with the chaos of the battlefield. Mark lay still, the pain subdued, but the weight of loss pressing heavily on his chest. The injury was severe, and though his physical wounds would heal, the emotional scars cut deeper. Rex was confined to a kennel nearby, pacing restlessly, his keen senses attuned to the absence of his partner. The dog's world had shifted abruptly, from the unity of combat to the stark loneliness of separation. His training told him to wait, but his instincts screamed for action. Meanwhile, back home, Lily sensed the void left by her father's absence. The little girl clung to memories of Mark's reassuring presence, her nights haunted by the silence where his voice once was. Rex, now a guardian in a new sense, seemed to understand the fragility of this moment. The dog's watchful eyes followed her every move, his protective nature extending beyond the battlefield to the sanctuary of their home. Mark's injury rippled through their lives like a stone cast into still water. The reality of war's cost was a shadow that darkened every corner. Yet within that shadow flickered the unwavering loyalty of a soldier and his canine companion. Rex's role had transformed, from a partner trained for combat to a guardian tasked with filling the void left by loss. As Mark began the slow journey toward recovery, the bond between him and Rex remained unbroken, a tether stronger than steel. The dog's instincts to protect, to serve, and to love carried both of them through the darkest hours. And though the battlefield had taken its toll, the story of their partnership was far from over. Woven with threads of resilience, hope, and the unyielding spirit of loyalty that defines the strongest of bonds. The sterile hum of the hospital room was a stark contrast to the chaos that had unfolded just days before. Sergeant Mark Harris lay motionless beneath a crisp white sheet, his face pale but peaceful as he recuperated from the wounds that had nearly claimed his life. Machines beeped softly, marking the steady rhythm of his breath, while nurses moved quietly around the room, respecting the fragile stillness that had settled over the space. Outside, the world spun on, but within these walls, time seemed suspended, a liminal space between survival and the uncertain path ahead. For Mark, the battle had shifted from the foreign terrain of the combat zone to the intimate and unfamiliar landscape of healing, where strength was measured not in missions accomplished, but in the slow reclaiming of movement and hope. Meanwhile, back home, Lily's small frame trembled as she clutched her mother's hand tightly, her wide eyes searching for reassurance that felt just out of reach. The absence of her father was a void that echoed through the quiet rooms. And though Rex lay faithfully at her feet, his presence was a balm tinged with sorrow. The dog's once lively eyes now held a solemn depth, as if he too mourned the man who had been more than a handler, her protector, her friend. Rex had begun to exhibit signs of distress in Mark's absence. The dog's usual calm demeanor gave way to restless pacing and low whines that filled the quiet spaces of the house. His instincts, finely tuned through rigorous training, struggled to reconcile the sudden loss of the partner who had been his constant guide. Yet, amid the uncertainty, a new bond was quietly forming, one forged in the shared experience of loss and the unspoken promise of protection. One evening, as the fading light cast long shadows across the living room, a sudden noise shattered the fragile calm. A stranger, cloaked in the anonymity of the night, slipped through the unlocked back gate, a shadow with intent, unaware that the house was guarded by more than locks and alarms. Lily froze, her breath caught in her throat as the intruder crept closer. Rex, sensing the threat instantly, rose with a low growl that rumbled from deep within his chest. His hackles lifted, and his stance became rigid, a living barricade between the danger and the child he had silently sworn to protect. The intruder hesitated, startled by the sudden appearance of the imposing dog. Rex's eyes locked onto the figure, unwavering and fierce. With a commanding bark, he stepped forward, his presence filling the room with a palpable warning. Lily's trembling eased slightly as she realized Rex was there, not just as a pet, but as her guardian. The dog's protective instincts transcended training. They were fueled by a loyalty that had found new purpose in the absence of her father. The intruder, faced with the unwavering determination in Rex's gaze, retreated hastily, disappearing into the night. Rex remained vigilant, his body tense until the danger passed and silence reclaimed the house. In the aftermath, Lily wrapped her small arms around Rex's neck, tears mingling with whispered thanks. The dog responded with a gentle lick, a silent reassurance that she was safe, that he would stand watch through every shadow and every fear. This moment marked a turning point, not just for Rex, but for Lily as well. The child, fragile yet resilient, began to find courage in the steadfast presence of her protector. And Rex, once a soldier's partner on distant battlefields, embraced his new role with unwavering devotion. As days turned to weeks, their bond deepened. Rex's watchful eyes followed Lily through the house and garden, his body a constant shield against the uncertainties of the world. He learned her rhythms, anticipating her needs and fears in a way that transcended instinct. Mark's absence lingered like a shadow, but within the walls of their home, a new family unit was taking shape. One forged by loss, resilience, and the unbreakable bond between a child and her protector. Back at the hospital, Mark's recovery was slow but steady. His mind often drifted to Lily and Rex, the two anchors of his world. Though his body was confined, his spirit remained tethered to the home he longed to return to the daughter who needed him, and to the dog who had become more than a partner, his family's guardian. The journey ahead was uncertain, marked by challenges both physical and emotional. But in the quiet moments of the night, as Lily slept soundly with Rex at her side, there was a flicker of hope. A promise that through love, loyalty, and courage, they would face whatever came next together. In this fragile new chapter, the protective bond between Lily and Rex grew into a lifeline, a testament to the enduring power of loyalty and the courage found in unexpected places. Their story was still unfolding, a journey of healing and strength that would carry them through the darkest hours toward the light of a new beginning. News traveled fast through the tight-knit community, carried by whispers in grocery stores, murmurs during morning coffee, and the rapid exchange of messages on social media. The story of Rex's unwavering protection of Lily had captured hearts far beyond the small suburban neighborhood where the family lived. Headlines praised the German Shepherd's bravery, painting him not just as a trained canine, but as a guardian angel in fur. Veteran organizations and military support groups seized upon Rex's story, recognizing the profound connection between canine units and the families left behind. Articles highlighted the emotional toll on military households, spotlighting the unique challenges faced by those who serve and those who wait. Rex became a symbol, not only of service dogs' vital roles on the battlefield, but also of their continued guardianship in the lives of their handlers' loved ones. At the community center, a gathering was organized to honor Rex's heroism. Neighbors, soldiers, and families came together, their faces a mosaic of gratitude and respect. The event was more than a celebration. It was a recognition of the silent sacrifices made by military families and the extraordinary bonds forged in the crucible of service. Lily, clutching Rex's leash tightly, stood beside her mother as local officials spoke of courage and commitment. The young girl's eyes brimmed with tears, a mixture of pride and relief. Rex sat obediently at her side, his posture regal yet gentle, embodying the steadfast protector he had become. Support networks began to rally around the family, offering resources and companionship to help them navigate the difficult road ahead. Counselors specializing in military family dynamics reached out, understanding that Rex's presence was a critical component in Lily's healing process. The dog's ability to sense and respond to emotional cues provided a unique form of comfort that transcended traditional therapy. Within military circles, Rex's story sparked renewed interest in the role of K-9 units beyond active duty. Discussions emerged about expanding support for handlers' families, acknowledging that the service of these dogs extended far beyond the battlefield. Rex became a case study in how trained animals could bridge the gap between danger and safety, loss and hope. In the days following the ceremony, Lily's confidence blossomed. The once timid girl began to venture further from the safety of her mother's side, buoyed by Rex's unwavering presence. The dog's protective instincts provided a shield against the lingering fears that had shadowed her since her father's injury. At school, teachers noticed a change. Lily participated more in class, her laughter returning like a fragile bloom in spring. Rex accompanied her on walks, his calm demeanor reassuring classmates and staff alike. The community embraced the pair, their story a beacon of resilience that inspired others facing similar challenges. Mark, still recovering in the hospital, followed the news with a mixture of pride and longing. The stories of Rex's heroism and Lily's growth were lifelines that connected him to home, reminders that the family he fought for was resilient and supported. His doctors noted his improved spirits, attributing part of his recovery to the knowledge that his daughter and dog were safe and coping. The military base where Mark served also took note. Commanders began to explore new ways to integrate family support into K-9 unit protocols, recognizing that the bond between handler and dog did not end with deployment. Training programs were updated to include guidance on preparing families for the unique challenges posed by separation and potential injury. Rex's actions also sparked conversations about mental health within the military community. The dog's instinctual response to protect Lily highlighted the importance of emotional connections in healing trauma. Counselors and veterans alike emphasized that support must be holistic, addressing both physical dangers and the invisible wounds that linger long after combat ends. Amid the growing attention, Anna and Lily remained grounded by the day-to-day realities of healing. Each morning began with a walk through the neighborhood, Rex leading the way with steady determination. The rhythm of routine brought stability, a counterbalance to the uncertainty that still loomed over their lives. At home, Rex's presence was a constant source of comfort. He sensed when Lily's fears surfaced, responding with gentle nudges or resting his head on her lap. The dog's intuitive care helped bridge the gap left by Mark's absence, fostering a sense of safety that words alone could not provide. The community's embrace extended beyond ceremonies and news stories. Neighbors offered help with chores, friends brought meals, and local businesses donated supplies for Rex's care. The collective support formed a network that lifted the family, creating a foundation of hope and resilience. In quiet moments, Anna reflected on the transformation that had taken place. The family, once defined by the shadow of war, was emerging into a new chapter, one where love, loyalty, and community intertwined. Rex was not just a protector. He was a symbol of endurance, a living testament to the power of connection in the face of adversity. As the weeks unfolded, the story of Rex and Lily continued to resonate. Their journey illuminated the complexities of military life, the sacrifices made by those on the front lines and those waiting at home. It underscored the profound impact that service animals have, not only in combat but in healing hearts and rebuilding lives. Through it all, Rex remained steadfast, a guardian whose courage extended beyond the battlefield, whose loyalty was the thread weaving together a family fractured but unbroken. And as the community rallied around them, the hope grew that their story would inspire others to recognize and support the silent heroes who stand watch when the guns fall silent. The evening sun cast long shadows across the quiet neighborhood as Lily and Rex settled into their familiar routine. The air was tinged with the scent of blooming jasmine, a gentle reminder of life's simple pleasures amid the complexities that had come to define their days. Yet, beneath the calm surface, a profound story of protection and instinct was quietly unfolding. A story etched in the subtle language shared between a girl and her dog. Rex's training had been rigorous, designed to sharpen every sense, every reflex, until the dog became an extension of his handler's will. But beyond the commands and drills lay a deeper connection, one that Mark had nurtured from the moment he first laid eyes on the hesitant shelter dog. The lessons taught on the training ground were not just about obedience. They were about trust, intuition, and an unspoken understanding that transcended words. As Rex padded softly beside Lily during their evening walk, his nose twitched, catching the faintest scent on the breeze. The dog's ears perked, alert to the subtle shifts in the environment that might escape human notice. It was this heightened awareness, honed through countless missions, that now served a new purpose. Keeping Lily safe in a world that suddenly seemed larger and more uncertain. Flashbacks often came unbidden. Mark's voice echoed in Rex's mind. Commands given with calm authority, lessons repeated under the harsh glare of training lamps and the unforgiving sun. Stay close. Watch for danger. Protect. Those words had shaped Rex's every action, embedding a sense of duty that now extended beyond the Soir battlefield. One particular memory stood out. A night during a desert exercise when Mark had whispered reassurances as Rex faced simulated threats. The trust between them had been unbreakable then, a bond forged in fire and tested through adversity. Now, with Mark away, Rex clung to those memories as a guide, his instincts sharpening to fill the void left by his handler's absence. Back at home, Rex's protective nature was evident in the smallest gestures. When Lily hesitated before entering a dark hallway, the dog positioned himself at her side, a silent sentinel. If unfamiliar sounds stirred in the night, Rex's low growl was a warning that reassured rather than alarmed. His presence was a constant thread of security woven through the fabric of her daily life. Lily, growing more confident with each passing day, began to respond to Rex's cues. Their communication was subtle. A glance, a shift in posture, a soft whine that spoke volumes in a language only they fully understood. The dog's instincts guided her steps, steering her away from unseen perils and toward safety. During one afternoon in the park, a group of children played nearby, their laughter ringing through the air. Lily ventured toward a cluster of bushes, curiosity piqued by a rustling sound. Rex stayed close, his gaze fixed on the undergrowth. Suddenly, he tensed, ears angled forward, signaling caution. Lily paused, sensing the change, and stepped back just as a stray cat burst forth, its sudden movement startling but harmless. This moment, simple yet profound, illustrated the depth of Rex's vigilance, a living shield that extended beyond physical protection to encompass emotional safety. The dog's ability to sense potential threats before they materialized was a testament to the training he had received and the bond that tethered him to both Mark and Lily. Mark's lessons echoed through these moments, a silent thread connecting past and present. Commands once spoken in the heat of battle now served to navigate the uncertainties of everyday life. Rex's loyalty was unwavering, his dedication a living legacy of the man who had shaped him. At night, when shadows lengthened and the house grew still, Rex remained ever watchful. He settled at the foot of Lily's bed, ears twitching at the faintest sound, muscles coiled in readiness. The dog's presence was a balm to the child's anxieties, a living promise that she was never truly alone. The deeper bond between Rex and Lily was more than companionship. It was a partnership forged in resilience and trust. Each instinctive gesture, each shared glance, strengthened the unspoken agreement that they would protect one another, no matter the challenges ahead. As the days turned into weeks, the community around them began to recognize the subtle ways Rex's presence transformed Lily's world. Neighbors remarked on the dog's quiet vigilance, the way he seemed to anticipate and diffuse potential troubles. Teachers noted Lily's growing confidence and sense of security, attributing much of her progress to the steadfast guardian by her side. In quiet moments, Anna reflected on the remarkable transformation unfolding before her eyes. Rex was not merely a service dog or a trained protector. He was a bridge between past trauma and future hope, a living testament to the power of loyalty and love. The lessons Mark had imparted to Rex were now shaping a new chapter, one where protection was as much about emotional security as physical safety. Rex's instincts, sharpened on distant battlefields, found new purpose in the intimate spaces of home and heart. Together, Lily and Rex navigated the complexities of healing, their bond a beacon of hope amid uncertainty. It was a partnership that transcended words, built on trust, courage, and the enduring strength of connection. And though Mark remained far away, his presence was felt in every cautious step, every protective glance, every silent vigil kept by the dog who had become more than a partner. He was a guardian, a friend, and a symbol of unwavering love. The sun dipped low behind the neighborhood rooftops, casting a warm amber glow over the quiet streets as evening settled in. Lily hesitated at the edge of the playground, the familiar swing swaying gently in the breeze. For weeks, she had watched from a distance, her small hands clutching Rex's leash tightly, too cautious to join the laughter and play. But tonight felt different. With Rex at her side, a steady presence, she found a spark of courage flickering within. Taking a deep breath, Lily stepped forward, her feet tentative but determined. Rex matched her pace, his eyes alert and protective, ever watchful for any sign of danger. The dog's calm confidence was a silent reassurance, a shield that gave Lily the strength to face the world beyond her doorstep. A group of children called out invitingly, their voices ringing with the carefree joy of youth. Lily's heart pounded, a mix of excitement and anxiety swirling within her. Yet, with Rex close, she felt grounded, ready to bridge the gap between fear and adventure. As she approached, a boy near the swings glanced her way, curiosity sparking in his eyes. "Hey, you want to play?" he asked, a genuine smile breaking across his face. Lily nodded shyly, her cheeks flushing. The dog settled quietly at her side, his presence both comforting and commanding respect. The next moments unfolded slowly but surely, a game of tag, tentative laughter, the shy exchange of names. Rex remained vigilant, yet relaxed, sensing the safety in the surroundings and the tentative blossoming of Lily's confidence. The dog's protective instincts were ever present, but tempered by the understanding that this was more than a mission. It was a chance for healing. Later, on their walk home, a sudden rustling in the bushes caught Rex's attention. The dog froze, muscles taut, eyes sharp. Lily felt the shift, her own senses heightened by Rex's alertness. A stray cat darted out, its sudden movement startling but harmless. Rex's stance softened, his body relaxing as the perceived threat dissipated. These small victories, moments of shared courage and trust, marked the gradual transformation in Lily's world. Rex was no longer just a protector from danger. He was a partner in discovery, a catalyst for bravery. Together, they faced fears that once seemed insurmountable, turning shadows into stepping stones. Back at home, the bond deepened. Rex's gentle nudges encouraged Lily to explore beyond her comfort zones, a new book, a drawing, a conversation with a neighbor. Each step was met with quiet celebration, the dog's unwavering support a constant undercurrent. One evening, a neighborhood bully loomed near the park, his harsh words aimed at the children gathered there. Lily's smile faltered, fear creeping back. But Rex stood firm, positioning himself between Lily and the threat. His low growl was a clear warning, a boundary that the bully hesitated to cross. The confrontation dissolved as quickly as it had emerged, the bully retreating under the weight of Rex's silent command. Lily's relief was palpable, her gratitude for Rex's protection shining in her eyes. The dog's presence was a fortress, a living barrier against the fears that sought to encroach. Through these trials, Lily's bravery flourished. Guided by Rex's instincts and bolstered by his steadfastness, she learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the strength to move forward despite it. Their partnership became a dance of trust and resilience, each supporting the other in the journey toward healing. Mark's voice over the phone was a lifeline, his encouragement echoing across the miles. "You're doing great, kiddo," he said, pride evident even through the distance. "Keep sticking with Rex. You're both stronger than you know." The nights brought their own challenges, shadows that whispered doubts, dreams that stirred unease. Rex remained a vigilant guardian, his presence a beacon of safety in the dark. He lay beside Lily's bed, ears flicking at every sound, muscles ready to spring at the faintest hint of danger. Together, they faced the lingering fears, the echoes of loss softened by the bond that grew stronger each day. Lily's laughter returned in fragments, each one a triumph over the shadows that once threatened to consume her. In the quiet moments before sleep, Lily would stroke Rex's fur, their eyes meeting in a silent exchange of gratitude and love. The dog's steady heartbeat beneath her hand was a reminder that she was never alone, that protection and hope could be found in the most faithful of friends. As the days stretched forward, the community watched the transformation with quiet admiration. Lily and Rex became symbols of resilience, a testament to the healing power of loyalty and courage. Their journey was a beacon, illuminating the path from fear to bravery, from isolation to connection. The challenges were far from over, but with Rex by her side, Lily faced the future with a newfound strength. Together, they had turned the page on a chapter marked by loss and uncertainty, stepping into a story defined by hope, protection, and the unbreakable bond between a girl and her dog. The community hall was filled with a quiet hum of anticipation as neighbors, soldiers, and families gathered to honor a story that had touched hearts far beyond their small town. The walls, adorned with photographs and banners, bore witness to the sacrifices made by those in service and the resilience of the families left behind. At the center of it all stood Lily, holding tightly to Rex's leash, her eyes shining with a mixture of pride and humility. Local officials spoke with reverence, recounting the bravery of Sergeant Mark Harris and the unwavering loyalty of Rex, the German shepherd who had become more than a military partner, a guardian for a grieving family. The ceremony was not just a tribute to heroism on the battlefield, but a recognition of the quiet battles fought at home, where love and loyalty formed the front line of healing. As the crowd applauded, Lily's gaze found Rex's steady eyes. The dog sat poised, his presence a symbol of hope and protection that had carried the family through the darkest days. His calm demeanor belied the fierce instincts that had saved Lily and given her the courage to face a world forever changed. The mayor stepped forward, presenting Rex with a medal, a tangible acknowledgement of a guardian's courage and an embodiment of resilience. The room erupted in applause once more, a chorus of gratitude that echoed the silent promises Rex had made with every vigilant glance and protective stance. Outside, the sun dipped low, casting a golden glow over the gathering as families mingled and shared stories. Conversations wove together threads of shared experience, creating a tapestry of support that extended beyond the ceremony. Neighbors offered heartfelt words, their voices carrying the warmth of a community healed by unity. Lily, now more confident and assured, spoke softly to a group of children, sharing tales of Rex's bravery and the lessons learned in loyalty and courage. Her words, though simple, resonated with a profound truth: that strength is born not only from battles won, but from the bonds that hold us together. Back at home, the atmosphere was one of quiet reflection. Anna watched as Lily played gently with Rex, the dog's protective watchfulness softened by the ease of companionship. The house, once shadowed by fear and uncertainty, now echoed with laughter and the promise of healing. Rex had become a symbol not just for their family, but for the community, a living testament to the enduring impact of service dogs beyond the battlefield. His presence inspired others to recognize the sacrifices made by military families and the vital role of support networks in fostering resilience. Veteran organizations reached out, offering resources and programs tailored to the unique needs of families like the Harrises. Counselors emphasized the importance of holistic healing, acknowledging that the scars of war extend beyond the physical and that emotional wounds require care and attention. Mark, still on the path to recovery, received news of the ceremony with a mix of pride and longing. The recognition of Rex's role and the community's embrace of his family were rays of hope that strengthened his resolve. Though distance separated them, the bond that connected Mark, Lily, and Rex remained unbroken. The journey of healing continued, marked by small victories and the steady support of a community bound by shared experience. Rex's role evolved from protector to ambassador, his story inspiring conversations about the importance of service animals and the profound ways they support those left behind. In the weeks that followed, the Harris family found solace in the renewed connections around them. Friends and neighbors offered help with daily tasks, visits with thoughtful gifts, and moments of companionship that eased the weight of loss. The collective embrace of the community became a lifeline, weaving strength and hope into the family's fabric. Lily's laughter grew more frequent, her steps lighter as confidence blossomed. Rex remained her steadfast guardian, his instincts ever tuned to her needs, providing a sense of safety that allowed her to explore the world with renewed curiosity. The ceremony became a touchstone, a reminder that even in the wake of tragedy, healing is possible through connection, support, and the unwavering bonds of loyalty. The Harris family's story was no longer just one of loss, but of resilience, a testament to the power of love and the enduring spirit of those who serve and protect. As night fell over the town, the stars blinked into existence above, a silent chorus watching over a family bound by courage and hope. Within the quiet of their home, Lily and Rex settled side by side, their bond a beacon in the darkness. Together, they faced the future, carrying with them the legacy of sacrifice and the promise of new beginnings. The soft glow of dawn filtered through the curtains, casting a gentle light over the quiet room where Lily lay curled beneath a blanket. At her side, Rex rested his head on her lap, his steady breathing a comforting rhythm that filled the space with warmth and security. Outside, the world was waking, a new day unfolding with promises yet to be discovered. In this peaceful sanctuary, the legacy of Sergeant Mark Harris lived on, not just in memory, but in the very essence of the bond shared between his daughter and their faithful companion. The journey that had brought them here was marked by sacrifice, loss, and immeasurable courage, but it was also defined by the enduring power of loyalty and love. Lily's fingers traced gentle circles along Rex's fur, a silent conversation of trust and affection. The dog's eyes met hers, shining with intelligence and unwavering devotion. In their shared gaze was a reflection of the strength that had carried them through the darkest hours, a testament to a partnership that transcended words. Mark's voice echoed softly in memory, a beacon that guided them still. His dedication to duty, his love for his family, and his unbreakable bond with Rex had shaped not only their lives, but also the spirit of resilience that now defined their days. Though distance and circumstance had separated them, the connection remained unshaken. The house was filled with subtle reminders of that connection. Photographs capturing moments of joy and determination, mementos of service, and the quiet presence of Rex, whose instincts continued to safeguard the family. Each day was a step forward, a chapter in a story woven with threads of hope and healing. Lily's growth was evident in the way she moved through the world with a newfound confidence, her laughter ringing clear and bright. Rex remained at her side, a guardian and friend whose protective instincts ensured that she faced each challenge with courage. Together, they navigated the complexities of healing, their bond a source of strength and solace. Anna watched with quiet pride, witnessing the transformation wrought by love and resilience. The family, once fractured by tragedy, had found a new equilibrium, one shaped by the enduring spirit of service and the unyielding commitment to one another. Community support continued to play a vital role, weaving a safety net that allowed the family to thrive. Friends, neighbors, and veteran organizations offered companionship and resources, their presence a tangible reminder that healing is not a solitary journey, but a collective effort. Mark, steadily progressing in his recovery, remained connected through calls and messages, his voice a lifeline that bridged the physical distance. Plans for his return were tentative, but filled with hope. A reunion awaited that would reunite the threads of their shared story. As the seasons changed, so too did the landscape of their lives. Challenges persisted, but they were met with the fortified resilience born of love and loyalty. Rex's role evolved with the family's needs, his presence a constant source of protection and comfort. In quiet moments, Lily and Rex would sit by the window, watching the world outside, each day a canvas of possibilities. Their journey was far from over, but the path ahead was illuminated by the bonds that had carried them through adversity. The story of Sergeant Mark Harris, Lily, and Rex was one of profound connection. A narrative that celebrated the power of loyalty, the healing found in companionship, and the unbreakable ties that bind family together. It was a story that transcended the trials of war, speaking to the enduring human spirit and the quiet heroism found in everyday acts of love. As the sun rose higher, casting light upon their faces, Lily smiled softly, her hand resting gently on Rex's head. In that moment, surrounded by the quiet strength of their bond, the future stretched out before them, a horizon filled with hope, courage, and the promise of new beginnings.